Good. Call the meeting to order at 7:10 p.m., inform the public we're returning from an executive session. If anybody is watching this, we apologize, but it doesn't appear we're going live this evening, so it will be recorded due to technical difficulties. Has the board had a chance to review the minutes of our last meeting?
Move to accept the minutes as printed. Second?
All in favor? Aye. I do, if the board will indulge me, just want to make a quick statement before we go on with the agenda regarding the events that we're all aware occurred here in town last evening. I think all of us, our sympathies go out to all those who were impacted by it, and our gratitude goes out to all those first responders who performed admirably in a situation that you're never really ready for. You hope and pray never happens in your community, and you also hope and pray if it does happen in your community that it ends a way that ours fortunately ended yesterday. We were all in regular communication with both of our chiefs as they were coordinating and commanding the incident. And I spoke to Chief Donovan earlier today again, and I, in part, wanted to get a breakdown and a better understanding of all those departments that assisted our department last evening, and the list was lengthy. It was SEMLAC, which is the Southeast of Massachusetts Law Enforcement Council, the towns of Middleborough, Rehoboth, Dayton, Bridgewater, the city of Taunton, Mass State Police, and the Sheriff's Office, in Quincy. Thank you, Mrs. Smith. And so a large undertaking that Raynham is not accustomed to, and God willing, we'll never have to deal with again. But I'm confident. I speak for the entire board when we thank everybody, public safety, first responders, and our residents for handling themselves in such an admirable fashion last night as we were all navigating through uncharted, very bumpy territory. And I think it's probably best that we just leave our comments at that, but I felt it was important that we did get that out there and have it be in our minutes. Okay. Department heads, Bob, I afraid. Bob, please.
Thank you. Bob Iafrate from the Building Department. This is my state of the Building Department for you. So the Building Department was very busy last year and again starting this year. Tracking our permits by fees from July to the middle of this month. That's 6.5 months. We've collected over $201,000 in permit fees. Represents about 2/3 of what we did last year. So things are pretty busy. I'd mentioned earlier last year in 2016 we permitted 48 new residents. That's 20 more than we did in 2015. Many commercial projects going on in town. 220 Paramount, 147 South Street West, 480 Paramount Drive is done. Mastria Motors, Mastria Mazda is undergoing a renovation. So there's a lot of activity around town. As you drive around town, you'll notice there's all kinds of residential activity also between renovations and alterations and additions, and everyone knows how many new houses are going on. Every street's got some activity going on. Again, the difference between calendar year activity from one year to the other, we had 10 condominium units built last year. 2015, we only had 2. 50 mobile homes. 50. The year before, we had 20. So a lot of activity. We've been able to service the workload by making some changes with our permitting process and trying to streamline things. One little bump we've been experiencing is plumbing and gas inspector. He's been inundated with work. The types of activities that are going on are requiring him to spend more time because there's multiple inspections per unit, but we're working through that. So I'll keep you posted on that activity. But things are very busy. I like to think that everyone's being serviced adequately. I haven't heard too many complaints. And I hope I don't hear any complaints at all. But I'm open to answer any questions if you have any questions for me. Thank you.
Appreciate it. No appointments this evening. No public hearings. New business, we have the annual Tag Day Summit. Mr. Buckner's put together an extensive list of all of our organizations and their requested dates, which have been okayed for the coming year, and unless there's any objection, I entertain a motion to approve them as a slate.
Move to approve as listed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, those are approved. Any other new business, Ms. Donahue? Mrs. Smith? Old business, Mrs. Donahue?
I have nothing.
Mrs. Smith?
No, sir.
Town Administrator's report, Mr. Buckner.
Finance Committee Chairman Beulah Lee has drafted a letter to go out to departments later this week. Deadline for submittal of budgets will be February 10th. New jail cells, the final walkthrough will be conducted tomorrow. 2 cameras should be installed by the end of the week, and a quote grand opening set for January 23rd. Route 44 overpass, Mass DOT had a public presentation last week to address project goals, which are meant to address existing issues, including a structurally deficient and functionally obsolete bridge, vertical clearance not meeting current standards, poor ramp configuration, etc. And the new bridge will also allow additional travel lanes on Route 24 eventually. So, Main Street Estates, 40B, we're waiting Town Council's written decision on the denial of that 40B permit. We believe it'll be appealed, but whether it'll be successful, who knows? I guess, I don't know if you want me to mention this, but there's nomination papers are available starting now in the clerk's office, and we do have some vacancies on the Housing Authority, so we're hoping people will take out papers and run for that office. Next Selectmen's meeting, Chief Donovan will be in, Department Head meeting this Thursday, and Southeastern Mass Health Group with preliminary health insurance rates for FY18 to be discussed.
Thanks, Randy. Any questions for Randy? Great. Selectmen's report, Mrs. Donahue.
I have nothing. It's been a question.
Okay. Mrs. Smith?
Did anybody by any chance go to that meeting, the DOT meeting that they had?
I didn't know.
Okay.
I heard it was good, though.
Yeah, well, I got the report, as you
Yeah.
both did, from Mr. Buckley, and he did have some comments to make. Haven't read all of this, but it's going to take a long time.
It absolutely
If
is.
it's anything like the bridge on 138, we're going to be using back streets for the next 10 years.
There goes my going home for lunch, Mrs. Smith.
There is. You're absolutely right, Joseph. It's going to be very difficult. But it's something that evidently is very well in need to get done. I don't know. I can't see the bicycle path. I'm sorry. I want to see the first person that rides it. Maybe we'll delegate you, Joe. You or Randy. We'll delegate you, be the first person, and we'll stand there and wave.
See how it goes?
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mrs.
I just
Smith.
think it's ridiculous.
Okay. Correspondence is light. We have a retirement letter. It is with deep regret that I submit my resignation as a Town of Raynham's Veterans Agent effective January 20th. Due to health reasons, excuse me. It was a pleasure and an honor to assist the veterans in need for the Town of Raynham. Sincerely, John Montagano.
Move to accept with deep regret John Montagano's resignation. He is a fine man and has done a wonderful, wonderful job in that office.
Absolutely. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have a race request from John Donahue requesting to operate the 28th Annual Knights of Columbus Charity Road Race on April 9th. And as always, John will coordinate with both chiefs on this race. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That is approved. We need to vote on that.
Probably should, it's bond anticipation notes.
Okay. We have a correspondence from the Treasurer's Office requiring approval for a bond anticipation notice for sewer design and construction. What's the board's pleasure?
What is it for?
Sewer design and construction, bond anticipation note,
Okay. How much is it for?
2.5 million.
What is it for?
I believe it's the renewal of the bond, right, Randy?
Is it a
Yeah.
renewal?
Yeah, renewal.
Okay, move to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That is approved. No other correspondence this evening. No members of the press are with us. No emergency business. No members of the community are with us. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn, pay the bills, no business to be conducted after.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned, thank you.